Hello, this is a second of two videos about terraforming a hot planet like Venus. The previous one deals with the physical side, the removal of the atmosphere in various potential ways and the cooling of the planet. So I'm going to continue with this one, talking about the second step of the process, using biology and life from Earth to terraform Venus. So the first thing to say is Venus has two large volcanic regions separated by large areas of flat lava. If the planet were terraformed, the volcanoes would become continents and the lava flows shallow seas. Because Venus is closer to the Sun than Earth, and cooling would take a long time, after terraforming it would be a warm, tropical planet. Hot planets like Venus will need far more species than cold ones like Mars. This is particularly true in Venus's mountainous regions, where every 100 meters of mountainside will require its own large and complex set of species to provide sufficient oxygen, food and water and other products and services that human colonists would need. There are more species in Earth's tropics than closer to the poles. So if you counted the number of trees in Vermont, you would find about 50. If you then drove south to Massachusetts, you'd find about 55, and then about 200 in North Carolina. Further south still in Belize, you would find about 700, and then in Peru, you'd find about 1,035, which is 50 times more than the number in the whole of Canada. It also means that a square mile of habitat in the tropics contains 10 times more species than the same area in colder regions. This is called the latitudinal diversity gradient. Tropical forests contain 10 times more species than forests in the temperate latitudes. So 170,000 or 68% of the world's vascular plant species are found in rainforests in the tropics and subtropics. Colombia has 1,525 bird species, or 30% of the world's 9,000 or so bird species are found in the Amazon, and another 16% in Indonesia. There are similar patterns for most other species: ants, butterflies, beetles, and many others. This means that each species has a very narrow set of environmental requirements which are constrained by temperatures and water availability. Adding an animal or a plant in the wrong place on a Venus mountainside would guarantee its death and extinction. Its requirements would have to be known in huge detail before any introductions were made or even contemplated. Long-term stable temperatures in the tropics cause species to adapt to very stable temperature ranges and have limited thermal tolerances. The temperatures don't change very much. You do have hot and dry seasons, but the temperatures themselves don't change that much. This results in these regions having many more species than colder places. Cold regions would support many more species were it not for the fact that they get constantly pruned by huge summer to winter temperature and weather variations. So a bit of snow comes through and kills all the plants and animals that would prefer warmer conditions. With its vast lava plains, Venus would have an ocean that is almost totally composed of shallow water. Oceans on Venus are projected to have less than a quarter of the volume of the terrestrial oceans, but a greater percentage of the surface of the planet, 80 to 90%, would be covered by water. Shallow seas of less than 1.5 kilometers, that's 0.93 of a mile deep, are expected to cover between 70 and 80% of Venus's surface. It would seem easier for our terraforming descendants to just introduce a few species and let the rest evolve. However, after the Permian mass extinction 252 million years ago, 90% of marine species became extinct, and it took a full 5 million years for ocean life to recover and new species to evolve. This slow rate of diversity recovery probably ties in with the rate at which new species can evolve. This means that when our descendants come to add new species to Venus, they will need to have a highly diverse pool of species as their source material. If this is not the case, and many are long extinct, it could take 5 million years for the new tropical heat-adapted species to evolve naturally. One good thing about Venus is that it will have lots of active volcanoes, even after terraforming, which means that an active carbon cycle can be possible. But if volcanoes continue to pump carbon dioxide into the atmosphere, as is normal for volcanoes on Earth, the planet will start to heat up again, because this carbon dioxide is a greenhouse gas and would prevent heat radiation escaping into space. To keep temperatures right for life, carbon dioxide would need to be removed by plants in photosynthesis and locked away on the surface or under the surface. Plants including trees, grass, seaweeds and phytoplankton would be critical to achieving this. That's why we need so many of them. Additional to maximize plants' carbon removal capabilities, animals would be needed to eat the leaves and stems, locking carbon away in their own bodies and on the ground when they die. Additional animals both fertilize flowers and distribute seeds, so an active and efficient ecosystem would be really needed to keep the surface cool enough for life. Even though hot planet terraforming is many thousands of years in our future, to allow our descendants to make it a reality on Venus or anywhere else, even outside our own solar system, we need to leave them our planet's diverse wildlife so that they have the tools to do the job. Thanks for watching.